Time isn't something you manage, it's something you align with. Time isn't this enemy you're battling or this resource slipping through your fingers. Time is the rhythm of the universe itself. When you align your energy with that rhythm, magic happens. Every moment of your life offers a choice to flow or resist. When your energy matches your priorities, you're no longer chasing time, you're in harmony with it. Imagine what it feels like to be completely in sync. That's when every moment becomes purposeful. Time isn't moving against you, it's moving with you. Most people are caught in a loop, believing they have to manage time, control it, force it into submission. But have you noticed how exhausting that is? It's like trying to swim upstream against a current. The harder you paddle, the more you stay in place. But the moment you stop fighting, you allow yourself to flow. That's when you realize the current was always there to support you. Are you swimming upstream in your life? Picture this, you wake up every morning already feeling behind. Emails, calls, tasks, it's chaos. Somewhere in that mess you're thinking, if only I had more time, but the truth is, it's not about needing more hours in the day. It's about using the hours you already have with intention. Let me share a story. A man spent his days racing the clock, waking earlier, working later, pushing harder. Yet, no matter what he did, he felt like he was running out of time. Until one day, he stopped. Instead of cramming every second with tasks, he asked himself what truly matters. That question changed everything. He didn't need to manage time, he needed to manage his energy. Where your energy flows, your life grows. If you're always pouring your energy into things that don't serve you, you'll feel drained. But when you align your energy with what matters most, you create momentum. It's like tuning an instrument. When your actions resonate with your purpose, life plays in harmony. Suddenly, you're not just managing time, you're dancing with it. Here's a practical shift. Today, instead of writing a to-do list, write a to-be list. Ask yourself, who do I want to be today focused? Creative, present? Write it down. When you decide how you want to feel, you start shaping your day around those feelings. What if your priorities were more about being than doing? We often measure productivity by how much we get done, but what if the measure of a day well lived isn't how much you accomplish, but how aligned you feel? Imagine this: instead of checking boxes, you're checking in with yourself. You're asking, am I showing up for what matters most? Am I giving my best energy to my best priorities? You've probably had days where everything just clicked. Maybe it was a day when you lost track of time because you were so immersed in what you were doing. That's alignment. That's the sweet spot where your energy and your actions are in sync. And here's the kicker: you can create that every day. Not by adding more to your plate, but by clearing what doesn't belong. The key to alignment isn't adding, it's subtracting. Let go of what doesn't serve you. This could be tasks that drain you, obligations that no longer align with your values, or even thoughts that keep you stuck. Imagine you're holding a jar filled with rocks. Those rocks are the things that weigh you down. Now take one out, then another. Feel the lightness. That's what happens when you start removing the unnecessary. You create space for what truly matters. Time responds to clarity. When you're clear on your priorities, time seems to expand. It's like driving through fog. The clearer your vision, the easier it is to navigate. Ask yourself, what are my non-negotiables? What deserves my undivided attention? Write those down. Make them sacred. Time doesn't need you to manage it. It needs you to trust it. Trust that when you're aligned, the universe supports you. Have you noticed that when you're deeply focused, things just flow? That's not a coincidence. That's alignment in action. The more you trust that flow, the more time works in your favor. Energy is the currency of time. Every decision, every action spends a little of that currency. The question isn't, how much can I get done? The question is, how wisely am I spending my energy? Imagine you only had $100 to spend each day. Would you waste it on things that don't matter? Of course not. So why do we do that with our energy? Treat your energy like gold. It's your most valuable resource. Here's an exercise. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, did I spend my energy on what matters most? If yes, celebrate that. If not, don't judge yourself. Use it as a guide for tomorrow. Every day is a chance to realign. Time is a mirror. It reflects your priorities, your energy, your choices. If you're always rushing, time will feel chaotic. But if you're grounded and intentional, time will reflect that back to you. Stop managing time. Start aligning with it. Let go of the hustle, the constant striving, the need to do more. Instead, ask yourself, What would it feel like to be in flow? To wake up every day knowing that every moment has a purpose that's not just possible, it's waiting for you. The moment you align, you reclaim your power. Take a breath. Feel that truth. Let it guide you. Stop chasing the clock, start living in flow. Think about that for a second. How often do we race against time as if it's an opponent, an obstacle, or even an enemy? We wake up already feeling behind, our minds buzzing with deadlines, to-do lists, and the weight of 1,000 tiny tasks. But here's the truth: productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with clarity and presence. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a day where you accomplished so much, yet at the end of it, you still felt empty? It's like you were busy, but you weren't fulfilled. That's because productivity isn't measured by how much you do, it's measured by how aligned you are with what truly matters. Here's the first shift: stop thinking of time as something to conquer. Time isn't out to get you, it's a gift, a canvas, waiting for you to decide what masterpiece you'll paint on it. Imagine this: you're running through an open field, chasing the horizon. No matter how fast you run, the horizon keeps moving further away. That's what it feels like when you're chasing the clock. But what if, instead of running, you paused? What if you stood still, looked around, and realized that everything you were chasing was already within you? That's the power of flow. Flow isn't about forcing things, it's about aligning with the rhythm of life. It's about stepping into that place where your energy and your purpose meet. And here's the magic: when you're in flow, time bends. Hours can feel like minutes when you're immersed in something meaningful. Conversely, a single minute can stretch into eternity when you're disconnected. Let me share a story. There was a woman who always felt like she was running out of time. She was juggling work, family, friends, always rushing, always stressed. One day she decided to do something radical. She stopped. She sat down with a piece of paper and wrote one question at the top: what matters most to me? Her answer surprised her. It wasn't about checking more boxes or squeezing more into her day. It was about connection, presence, joy. From that day forward, she started prioritizing not what was urgent, but what was important. And you know what happened? She didn't just feel more productive, she felt alive. What would happen if you did the same? Take a moment right now, breathe. Tune into yourself. Ask, what truly matters to me? Maybe it's spending time with loved ones. Maybe it's creating something meaningful. Maybe it's simply finding peace in the midst of chaos. Whatever it is, let that be your guide. Here's the truth: when you live in alignment with your priorities, productivity becomes effortless. Think of it like this: you're standing at a riverbank, holding a paddle. You can choose to row against the current, fighting every wave, exhausting yourself in the process. Or you can let the current carry you, using your paddle to steer with ease. That's what it means to live in flow. And here's the beauty: you don't have to do it all. The myth of doing it all is what keeps us trapped. Let me say it loud and clear: you are not here to do everything. You are here to do what matters. So how do you start? First, simplify. Take a hard look at your life and ask, what can I let go of? Maybe it's saying yes to too many commitments. Maybe it's the endless scrolling on your phone. Maybe it's the perfectionism that keeps you stuck. Whatever it is, let it go. Let me share something powerful. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to what does. Imagine your life like a garden. If you plant too many seeds, nothing will grow. But when you focus on just a few, they'll bloom beautifully. Second, create space. Flow needs room to breathe. That means carving out time for stillness, reflection, and rest. Yes, rest. Rest isn't laziness, it's renewal. It's in those quiet moments that clarity emerges. Now, picture this. You're sitting by a calm lake. The water is so still you can see your reflection. That's what happens when you create space in your life. You gain clarity. You see what's truly important. Third, focus on present. Being in flow means being fully here, fully now. It means giving your undivided attention to whatever's in front of you. Whether it's a conversation, a project, or even a simple walk, show up completely. Think about it. How often do we divide our attention checking our phones while talking to loved ones or thinking about work during dinner? But when you're fully present, something shifts. Time slows down. Moments become richer. Here's an exercise for you. The next time you're doing something, anything, pause and ask yourself, am I fully here? If the answer is no, gently bring yourself back. And remember, this productivity isn't about the quantity of what you do, it's about the quality of your presence. Let me leave you with this thought. Imagine yourself at the end of your day. looking back? What will make you feel like today was well lived? It won't be the number of tasks you crossed off your list. It will be the moments when you were fully alive, fully engaged, fully yourself. That's the gift of living in flow. It's not about chasing the clock, it's about embracing the moment. Your schedule is your autobiography. What story are you writing today? Each hour is a page. Each moment, a sentence. Every decision you make, every task you take on, every pause, every conversation, all of it contributes to the narrative of your life. So let me ask you, what kind of masterpiece are you creating with your time? Think about it. When someone looks at your calendar, they're not just seeing appointments, deadlines, and tasks. They're seeing a reflection of your values, your priorities, your dreams. They're seeing the story of who you are and what you stand for. What would your schedule say about you if you looked at it right now? Would it tell a story of purpose, alignment, and passion? Or would it read like a rushed, disconnected series of events written by someone who feels pulled in 1,000 directions? This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. Because here's the truth, you are the author, and starting today, you get to decide how the next chapter unfolds. Let's make this real. Close your eyes for a moment and picture your life as a book. Imagine flipping through its pages. What do you see? Is it filled with moments that matter? Time spent with loved ones, deep work on things that light your soul on fire, moments of rest and renewal? Or is it packed with stress, distractions, and obligations that don't serve you? Here's the question you need to ask yourself: what story do I want to tell with my life? Every day you are writing that story, whether consciously or not. Every hour you're adding another page. And here's the beautiful thing, no matter what's been written before, you can start fresh at any moment. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman I once met who was constantly busy. From sunrise to sunset, her days were packed: meetings, errands, work, more work. She prided herself on her productivity, on how much she could squeeze into a single day. But one afternoon, as she sat down to plan her week, she felt an ache in her chest. It wasn't physical, it was emotional. She realized that while she was managing her time, she wasn't living her life. Her schedule was full, but her heart was empty. So she did something bold. She took out her planner and started crossing things off, not tasks she had completed, but tasks that didn't align with the life she wanted to live. She asked herself one powerful question: does this add to the story I want to tell? If the answer was no, it didn't make the cut. That one shift changed everything. You see, it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. It's about filling your calendar with meaning, not just activity. Imagine you're an artist with a blank canvas. Would you slap on paint randomly just to say you've used up all the colors? Or would you carefully, intentionally create something beautiful? Your schedule works the same way. Each hour is a brushstroke, each decision a shade of color. When you approach your time with intention, your life becomes a masterpiece. But here's the secret: masterpieces require space. Have you ever noticed that in the greatest works of art, it's not just the details that make them stunning, it's the empty spaces. The negative space brings balance, clarity, and focus. Your life needs that too. Ask yourself this: where am I overfilling the canvas? Where can I create space for what truly matters? Take a look at your day. Are there tasks that could wait? Obligations you've taken on out of habit rather than necessity? Moments where you're busy but not productive? Let's go deeper. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who seem to radiate purpose and peace. Do you think their schedules are overflowing with endless to-dos? No. They've learned the art of discernment. They've mastered the skill of saying no to what doesn't serve their story so they can say yes to what does. Saying no is not rejection, it's redirection. When you say no to something that doesn't align, you're saying yes to something that does. You're saying yes to your health, your relationships, your dreams. You're saying yes to living a life that feels like yours. Now, let's talk about alignment. Because it's not just about filling your schedule with the right things, it's about making sure those things resonate with your values. Think about this: what are your core values? Family, growth, creativity, freedom? Are those values reflected in your calendar? Or is your time being consumed by things that don't truly matter to you? Here's a powerful exercise. At the end of today, look at how you spent your time. Write it down hour by hour. Then ask yourself, does this align with the story I want to tell? If the answer is no, don't beat yourself up. Use it as a guide for tomorrow, because every day is a new page. And here's the thing: life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Even if just 1 hour of your day feels truly aligned, That's a step forward. Over time, those hours add up. They become days, weeks, months, a life well lived. Let's not forget the moments of stillness. In a world that glorifies hustle, rest can feel like rebellion, but rest isn't just necessary, it's sacred. It's in those quiet moments that your greatest ideas are born, your deepest insights emerge, your soul finds peace. So let me ask you, where is the stillness in your schedule? If you don't see it, create it. Even 5 minutes of intentional breathing, reflection, or simply being can transform your day. Remember, your schedule isn't just a list of tasks, it's a reflection of your life. Make it a reflection you're proud of, make it a masterpiece. Focus isn't a skill, it's a gift you give to your dreams. Let that settle in your mind for a moment. Every time you choose to focus, you're not just completing tasks or meeting deadlines, you're honoring your vision, your purpose. You're saying to the universe, this is what matters to me, and when you align your focus with what truly ignites your spirit, distractions fall away and the path ahead becomes clear. But here's the thing, focus isn't about grinding through the noise. It's about creating space, mental, emotional, even physical, for what truly lights you up inside. Think about that for a second. What if your ability to focus wasn't something you had to force, but something you could nurture by clearing out what doesn't belong? Let's start here. What are you giving your attention to right now? Take a moment and really think about it, because your attention is the most precious thing you have. Wherever you direct it, energy flows, and where your energy flows, your life grows. The question is, are you growing the life you want, or are you feeding distractions that don't serve you? Imagine this, your mind is like a garden. Every thought, every task, every priority is a seed. If you're not careful, weeds, those distractions, unnecessary worries, and low priority tasks can overtake the garden. But the beauty is you have the power to choose what grows. You have the power to pull out the weeds and make room for the flowers of your dreams. So here's a bold truth for you. Distractions aren't just external, they're internal too. It's not just the buzzing phone or the overflowing inbox that pulls us away from focus. It's also the doubts, fears, and restless energy in our minds. Think about it. How many times have you sat down to work on something important only to find your thoughts wandering? Maybe it's worry about the future. Maybe it's replaying a past mistake. Whatever it is, it's like trying to paint a masterpiece while someone keeps shaking the canvas. The painting doesn't get done, and you're left frustrated. Here's the secret: focus isn't just about blocking out the noise, it's about quieting the mind. Let's talk about creating space. Because if you want focus to feel natural, you have to clear out what's cluttering your mind. Start by asking yourself, what is draining my energy right now? It could be tasks you've been avoiding, decisions you haven't made, or even commitments that no longer align with your goals. Write those things down. Acknowledge them. Then start letting them go one by one. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock represents a distraction, a worry, or a task that doesn't serve your dreams. Now picture yourself setting that backpack down. Feel the lightness. That's what happens when you clear the space for focus. Now here's a powerful exercise. Take a blank piece of paper and write down your top 3 priorities, the things that truly ignite your spirit. These are the dreams, the goals, the passions that set your soul on fire. Look at that list and ask yourself, am I giving these the attention they deserve? The truth is, if you're not deliberately creating space for your priorities, life will fill that space with distraction. Let me share a story. There was a woman who dreamed of becoming an artist. Every day she told herself she'd paint when she had the time, but her days were filled with chores, meetings, and scrolling through social media. Months passed and her brushes remained untouched, until one day she decided to reclaim her focus. She turned off her phone, cleared a corner of her living room, and made it her painting space. And guess what? The moment she created space, inspiration flowed. She wasn't just painting, she was living her dream. Focus is a choice, a deliberate act of devotion to what matters most. Ask yourself, what can I eliminate today to create more space for my dreams? It might be saying no to an obligation that doesn't align with your goals. It might be limiting your screen time or setting boundaries around your work hours. Whatever it is, remember this: every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your dreams. But focus isn't just about elimination, it's also about intention. Before you start your day, take a moment to set an intention. Ask yourself, what do I want to give my energy to today? Visualize yourself fully immersed in that priority. See yourself thriving, creating, making progress. When you carry that intention into your day, focus becomes effortless. Here's another truth: your environment shapes your focus. If your surroundings are chaotic, your mind will reflect that chaos. So take a look at the space where you spend your time. Is it cluttered or clear? Is it inspiring or draining? Make your environment a reflection of your dreams. Clear off your desk. Add a reminder of why you're doing this. Maybe it's a vision board, a photo, or even a single word that captures your purpose. Let's talk about energy, because focus isn't just about time, it's about energy. You could have hours to dedicate to your dreams, but if your energy is scattered, those hours won't matter. So pay attention to when you feel most energized during the day. Use that time for your most important work. Protect it fiercely. Imagine you're a lighthouse. Your light, your focus guides the way. But if that light is dim or scattered, it can't do its job. So take care of your energy. Rest when you need to. Move your body. Nourish your mind. Because the brighter your light, the stronger your focus. And remember, this focus is a gift you give to your future self. Every time you choose to focus, you're investing in your dreams. You're building something that will outlast the moment. Think of it like planting a tree. It might take time to grow, but one day it will provide shade, fruit, and beauty, not just for you, but for others too. So ask yourself right now, what dream am I ready to focus on? Picture it vividly. Feel the excitement, the passion, the purpose, and know this: the more you align your focus with what lights you up, the more unstoppable you become. Say yes to what moves you and no to what drains you. Think about that for a moment. How often do you find yourself saying yes to things that pull you away from your energy, your focus, your purpose? How many times have you agreed to something out of obligation, only to feel a little piece of yourself shrinking inside? Your power lies in your ability to choose. Not just what you do, but how you spend your precious, finite time. Every yes you give is a commitment, a moment of your life exchanged for an experience. And here's the key: those experiences should nourish you, inspire you, move you closer to the life you want to create. Now ask yourself this: what are you saying yes to? Think of your time as a bank account and your choices as withdrawals. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're depleting that account. But when you say yes to the things that light you up, that energize you, you're making an investment in your growth, your joy, your purpose. Here's a truth to carry with you: every yes should be sacred. It's not about saying yes to everything that comes your way. It's about saying yes to what truly aligns with your heart, your values, your vision. That means learning the art of saying no, not as an act of rejection, but as an act of rejection, but as an act of protection. Protection of your time, your energy, your peace. Imagine this: you're at the beginning of a day, a blank canvas waiting to be filled. Now imagine someone handing you a paintbrush and saying, paint what matters most to you. What would you create? Would you fill it with tasks that drain you, with commitments that leave you feeling empty? Or would you choose colors that reflect your joy, your passions, your dreams? Here's the reality: every day you're painting your life, and the colors you choose come from the yeses and nos you give. Let me share a story with you. There was a woman who said yes to everything, every favor, every invitation, every task at work. People admired her for being so accommodating, so reliable, but inside she felt exhausted, resentful, stretched thin. One day, a mentor asked her, what would happen if you said no? Not because you're unwilling, but because you're prioritizing yourself. That question shifted everything. She realized her constant yeses weren't acts of kindness, they were acts of self-neglect. And when she started saying no to what drained her, she discovered something extraordinary. Her yeses became more powerful. They carried more meaning, more joy. Saying no isn't selfish, it's self-honoring. But let's go deeper. Why do we struggle to say no? For many of us, it's fear. Fear of disappointing others, fear of being judged, fear of missing out. But let me tell you this: the only thing you're truly missing out on when you say yes to what drains you is the life you're meant to live. You are not here to be everything to everyone. You're here to be the fullest version of yourself. And that version of you, it thrives when it's aligned with what moves you, with what fills you up. Here's a little exercise. The next time someone asks for your time or energy, pause. Take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask, does this move me? Does this align with my values, my purpose? If the answer is yes, give it wholeheartedly. If the answer is no, give yourself permission to decline with grace. Because every no is really a yes to yourself, to your priorities, to your well-being. Think about this: every yes and every no is like planting a seed. What kind of garden are you growing with your choices? Is it lush and vibrant, filled with things that bring you joy, or is it overgrown with weeds, cluttered with commitments that don't serve you? When you say yes to what moves you, you're planting seeds of fulfillment, passion, growth. And when you say no to what drains you, you're clearing space for those seeds to thrive. Now let's talk about energy. Your energy is your most valuable resource. It's what fuels your creativity, your focus, your ability to connect with others. But energy isn't infinite. It needs to be protected, nurtured, replenished. When you give it away to things that don't matter, you're running on empty. But when you invest it in what truly moves you, it multiplies. Here's an image for you. Imagine a candle. Every time you say yes to something draining, you're burning that candle down. But when you say yes to what moves you, it's like adding fuel to the flame. You burn brighter longer. Your choices shape your energy, and your energy shapes your life. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to radiate joy even when they're busy? It's not because they're doing more, it's because they're doing what matters most. They've learned the power of aligned choices. You can do that too. It starts with one simple question: is this worth my time? Time is sacred. It's the one thing you can never get back. So when you choose how to spend it, do so with intention. Choose what moves you. Choose what lights you up. Choose what brings you closer to the life you want to live. Because every yes and every no is a step on the path you're creating. And that path, it's yours to walk. Make it one that feels true, one that feels alive, one that reflects the best of who you are. Feel that truth. Let it guide you. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more of you in the hours you have. Sit with that for a moment. It's not about chasing time, stretching it, or bending it. It's about showing up fully. It's about filling every second with intention, presence, and purpose. When you bring yourself fully into the moment, productivity becomes effortless. Let's be honest, how many times have you caught yourself saying, I wish there were more hours in the day? You've probably said it today. But let me tell you something, more hours won't solve the problem. Because the issue isn't time, the issue is how much of you is truly present in the time you already have. Think about this. What would your life look like if you stopped scattering your energy, stopped dividing your attention? What if, instead of cramming more into your day, you focused on being fully present in the things that truly matter? Here's a little secret: the power isn't in the clock, it's in you. Time doesn't expand to fit your goals, but you can expand your presence to meet the moment. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about being more. Let me share a quick story. There was a woman who constantly felt overwhelmed. Her calendar was full, her to-do list was endless, and every day felt like a race against time. She tried everything: waking up earlier, multitasking, working late into the night. But no matter how hard she tried, she always fell behind. One day she decided to try something different. Instead of trying to squeeze more into her day, she decided to slow down. She made a promise to herself: in everything I do today, I will be fully present. When she wrote emails, she focused only on the words in front of her, not on the notifications popping up on her phone. When she spent time with her kids, she set aside her phone and gave them her undivided attention. When she cooked dinner, she put on music she loved and let herself enjoy the process. And guess what? At the end of the day, she felt something she hadn't felt in years: peace. Because for the first time, she wasn't rushing through her life, she was living it. Now ask yourself, how many moments in your day do you really live? You see, the problem isn't the lack of hours, it's the lack of presence. Most of us are living halfway, doing one thing while thinking about another. We're answering emails while worrying about tomorrow, spending time with loved ones while scrolling through our phones. And in the process, we lose the most precious thing we have: ourselves. Here's a powerful question to ask yourself: where are you right now? Are you fully here? Or are you caught in the past, replaying old mistakes? Or maybe you're lost in the future, worrying about things that haven't happened yet. The truth is, the only moment you can ever live is this one. And the more of yourself you bring to this moment, the more powerful it becomes. Let's get practical. I want you to try something today. Pick one task, just one, and give it your full attention. Maybe it's writing an email, maybe it's washing the dishes, maybe it's having a conversation with someone you love. Whatever it is, I want you to bring your whole self to that task. No distractions, no multitasking, just you in the moment. Notice how it feels. Notice how much easier and more enjoyable it becomes. Notice how much faster you complete it when you're not splitting your energy in a million directions. Here's the truth: focus isn't just a skill, it's a gift you give yourself, Dot. When you focus, you reclaim your power. You take back the energy you've been scattering across 1,000 distractions. You stop trying to control time and start working with it. And that's when productivity stops being a struggle and starts being a natural flow. Let's talk about intention. Intention is the anchor that keeps you grounded in the moment. When you set an intention for your day, your hour, or even your next task, you're telling yourself, this is what matters right now. Think of intention as your North Star. It's what keeps you aligned no matter how chaotic life gets. Without intention, it's easy to drift doing things out of habit, obligation, or because you think you should, but with intention, every action becomes purposeful. Here's a little exercise for you. Before you start your day tomorrow, take 5 minutes to sit quietly. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, what is my highest intention for today? Maybe it's to be patient. Maybe it's to be kind. Maybe it's to focus on your most important project. Whatever it is, hold that intention in your mind. Let it guide your action. You don't need more hours in the day, you need clarity about how you're spending the hours you already have. Think of it this way: every moment is a blank canvas, and every choice you make is a brushstroke. The question isn't, how many canvases can I paint today? The question is, how beautiful can I make this one? When you live with intention, you stop rushing through your day, trying to get it all done. Instead, you approach each moment with care, with presence, with the understanding that this moment is your life. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly felt alive? Not busy, not productive, alive. That feeling doesn't come from doing more. It comes from being more. It comes from pouring your energy into the present moment, from bringing all of yourself to the task at hand. You don't need more hours. You need to be fully here. You need to trust that when you give your best to this moment, everything else will take care of itself. Take a breath. Feel the truth of that. Let it guide you. Thanks for joining me today. If you found value in this discussion, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more motivational content. Share your thoughts in the comments below.